This is a logic question, and it is the determine if it's a palindrome. So looking up here, they say we're going to have a string manipulation class, and they are providing us with a remove spaces method. The remove spaces, all it's going to do is remove spaces. So if I had the fat cat with spaces in between, it would just remove them. And it just removes it. We pass in a string and return a string. So what we're going to write in part A is reverse string. So if we are given cat, when we're done, we want to give back tack. And of course, we want the spaces removed first. After that, we're going to determine if the reverse string is a palindrome or not. So what they wanted us to do was, if given the palindrome taco cat, you can see taco cat is a palindrome. Here, if I sit in level up, we squish those. Level up is not a palindrome. So we're going to have printed statements, which is very unusual for AP to ever have printed statements. This is a pretty old one. It was just the fact that it had a lot of string manipulation. So our first one is public static string, reverse string, and then string str. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to restore this string, and I'm going to call it string str again, or we can just call it string str1. And this is going to be remove spaces and then passing in str. So whatever that is, if I pass in, like I said, CA space T, and that was originally str, now str1 is going to be CAT. Okay, so after that, I want everything to go backwards. So remember, when we concatenate strings, it always concatenates to the end. So what I'm going to do is loop, and I'm going to start at the last character, pick that off first, concatenate it to a new string, then go to the next to last character. So I'm going to create another string, and I'm just going to call this one the result. Oh, and I'm going to set it equal to an empty string just to give it some memory location, and everything's ready for it. So then I'm going to loop through, so for, and I'm going to go backwards. So int I equal to str1 dot length -1, and then I has to be greater than or equal to 0, I minus minus. So all we're going to do is pick off the character and concatenate it back to the result. So we're going to grab str1 dot substring I to I plus 1. And then lastly, after all that's done, we're just going to return the result. So let's check for all the out of bounds stuff, because that's where things usually get bad. So if we passed in cat, I've already removed all of the blank spaces. So this is currently called str1. So index 0, 1, 2. So we would start at str.length -1. So we're starting with I is equal to 2. It's still bigger than 0. So my result, which is currently blank, is going to have the last character, which is T. We'll go up and we'll decrement this 1. And we're going to grab the substring from 1 to 2, which is A, and it'll be concatenated onto the end. And same thing, go down to 0. We include it because it says greater than or equal to 0. It's going to push the first character out, put it right there. And it's okay that on the first one we went 2 to 3, because remember, with the strings, the first one is included, the last one we don't. So you actually stop before that. So that was part A. Part B is to determine if we have a palindrome or not. Okay, so first thing that happened here is that we have one string. Let's just call it str. And the first thing I'm going to do is take that str and remove all the spaces. So then we called it str1. So that's now taco cat. Then when we reversed it, we called it result. And again, that's taco cat. So these two palindromes. Are they exactly equal? Yes. If we tried this without that, so let's say str was originally c blank a t, so then str1 would then just be cat, and then our result, if we flipped it around, would be tac. These two are not equal, so therefore we would return false or do the print statement for it was false. Okay, so down here, part B, we are going to write the method public static void, and it was called palindrome checker. And again, we pass in a string called str. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is remove everything, all the spaces from str, and I'll just call it str1. So remove spaces. So we're going to remove spaces, I think it was called, remove spaces, and we're going to pass in str. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to have a new str2, which we're going to send the other one to reverse string. And then if str1 dot equals str2, we have a palindrome. And then else, it is not a palindrome. And there's a void, so there's no return type. So how was this year scored? The first point came from, go back and find the scoring guideline. Examine individual characters of string using substrings. So if for somewhere along the way they saw that you are attempting to do some substrings up here, you get a point. Another point came for iterating over each character. So again, it's this loop with no error bounds. Uses concatenation to build the new string, so that goes right there. And the correct one is actually returned, so that's worth 4. Part B examines each character of str, loops over str with no bounds, errors. Oh wait, hold on, that's just a different version of the same thing. Here, this is where we go. So let's see, part 1, remove spaces from the string. So first thing you have to do is remove these spaces. Calls reverse string. Compares reverse strings to strings with equals. Prints the specified thing. And that was 4 points. There was one more point, which was the condition between these two.